God, does it feel good to be in America? Freedom of speech, the right to assemble, democracy. Over the past week in Egypt, thousands of protesters, which actually turned out to be about 2 million earlier this afternoon, rallied to oust the current president, Hosni Mubarak, from presidency. He's been in power for the past 30 years. I guess he can potentially be responsible for the living conditions, the job situation, how the economy is right now. To put in perspective how many actual people are rallying against him, take the population of Rhode Island and double it, and it's all basically kind of centralized into a congregation in the middle of Egypt. And it's pretty much a huge feat in itself, considering when the protest, if you want to call it, started last week. Egypt cut off Facebook and Twitter, and then later in the week, they ended up denying text messaging and internet access in itself in order to try to slow down the growth of the rally. And back to the comment that I started with. God, does it feel good to be in America? This would never, ever happen in the United States. Absolute chaos would break out. I mean, Facebook and Google would be flooded with hundreds and millions of complaints concerning the top two sites that were visited in the world last year, and they all of a sudden have to explain why they're unreachable. Internet companies, or any companies that heavily rely on the internet, not necessarily go under, but take a huge hit. Put it this way, less sales, less taxes, and less relief for the recession that we're in. And America's so spoiled to the things that we have, and we think that we're entitled to them. Yeah, granted, okay, take away the internet and cell phones. We'll still live. But back to the whole recession thing, if we didn't have that shit for a week, how many people would be complaining for all that money back? Which I completely understand too. I'd probably be one of those people. But thanks, more financial peril. We are absolutely nuts. If this actually happened in our country, where it got so bad for that amount of time, they decided to take away the two biggest ways to communicate with people, the president would actually be lucky that he's only allowed to serve 8 years. Because if we were that bad, I guarantee you there'd be so many more assassinations than there have been. As of this afternoon, President Barack Obama actually withdrew support from Egypt. He advised Mubarak to actually not to seek re-election this September. He wants a free and fair election so some kind of new leadership can come into Egypt and possibly, turn the country around from where it's been and where it could further slip into. So far, CNN has already reported that Mubarak isn't deciding to seek re-election. Still, it's not from him himself. I don't see any peace coming out of this until Mubarak is actually out of office. I mean, a lot can happen in the next 7 months until the elections in Egypt. People would think, okay, well, he's not going for re-election. They'll try to, tough out the next few months. What if he does turn around and actually seek re-election? You completely wasted 7 months in time from now until September. And even if he does stick through it, what could happen in the next 7 months? He can completely turn the country to a complete shithole. I just hope for our country's and our troops' sake, we'll just keep our soldiers out of there, not send them over to get involved. We'll just stay here, stay put, let them deal with it, and hopefully they can resolve their issues by themselves. America doesn't need to be a big brother. Good luck, Egypt. I hope everything gets better. I hope you finally oust that douchebag out of office. But honestly, only time will tell.